My question is fiscal. With 450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and 600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Watch this MAGA Republican representative get booed at his own town hall in his own district.
Why did you cut SNAP and healthcare research?
We do not have unlimited money in the United States.
Are for a border that is secure. And I support the president enforcing our immigration laws, which, by the way, were written by Congress.
I want to ask, why does it seem like when you make your voting decisions, they're based on capital rather than the working class? Billionaires and corporations got their tax issues enshrined into law forever, but the working class gets a no tax on tips or overtime that only applies to some of us, and now we wind up in a situation where we are.
Hi, Nebraska is going woke, and I mean that in the very literal sense. Because what happened yesterday at the town hall meeting when Nebraskans decided to boo their representative, their congressman, yes. They fact-checked him there and then. And guess what? They were not going for any lies. Because you know what? After what happened when Nebraska, declared they were going bankrupt, looks like they started doing their homework. Because guess what, babe? They came prepared with every crucial clapback that they can ever come with. You can make these things up. You're going to look at that. But before that, how are you doing? Are you okay? Thank you for coming to me again. Your girl Gracie here once again, welcoming you back to this beautiful space of ours. Yes, I do hope and pray that indeed God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that support me on here. My members, y'all do me super beautiful and amazing, and I do appreciate you. We have beautiful speakers and representatives from the Nebraskans that had their voices heard in the town hall meeting with their representative. I think his name is Flood something. Yes. And I think he didn't expect what they gave him. We have to look at the amount of cooking they did. We'll look at that cooking, look at a few reactions as well, come back and talk about it. What do you think? Is Nebraska going woke? And what took them this long to do this? But also, the amount of people that were booing is telling us that probably this man didn't win. Anyway, Elon Musk made that clear. Let's watch, come back and talk about it. Do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe. Put those thoughts in the comment section.
My question is fiscal. With 450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and 600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Americans went to the polls in November, and they had a choice between a Democratic candidate that had an open border, no enforcement, fentanyl, drugs, human trafficking. And they had a choice between that and a candidate that said, close the border, get illegal immigrants out of our country. Stop the fentanyl. Stop the human trafficking. Stop the drugs. Stop the crime. Stop the violence. That's what Americans voted for. Americans voted for a border that is secure. And I support the president enforcing our immigration laws.
I have read a dozen or so books on authoritarianism and fascism. You said in Seward that you were not a fascist. Your complicity says otherwise. Have you ever spoken out against this administration and its Project 2025, which is a fascist machine?
Fascists don't hold town halls with open question and answer series.
Americans are badgering elected Republicans everywhere they're willing to show their faces, including tonight in Nebraska, Republican Congressman Mike Flood holding a town hall with his red state constituents. Watch.
Hi, I implore you to be quiet so that we can hear his responses. Remember, Mike's coming up for a re-election, and we'd really like to know what his responses are. I'm Rosina. I write you emails with concerns of your voting behavior regarding Trump and his actions. You support him, especially confirming the cabinet. Your responses are riddled with misinformation and lies. I fact check you, and then I send the responses back, and I get crickets. If I am fact checking them because they are wrong in your response, I send them back to you, and I get crickets. I get kind of bummed. And this is not about partisan. This is about issues, because we're about to lose our democracy.
That was in Nebraska tonight at a town hall held by Republican Congressman Mike Flood, him hearing from his constituents tonight. We have total clarity now on what Trump's intentions are for the country. But I mean it when I say we. The country gets it and is more against it than they've ever been. And opposing this administration and what Trump is trying to do is turning out to be the story of the century.
There's a saying that silence is complicity. Your silence tells us that you have no problem with the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
Yep.
The pardoning of all those involved, the big lie about the 2020 election with absolutely no evidence.
Zero evidence, folks.
These are markers of fascism. I have read a dozen or so books on authoritarianism and fascism. You said in Seward that you were not a fascist. Your complicity says otherwise. Have you ever spoken out against this administration and its Project 2025, which is a fascist machine? Nope. Have you ever spoken out?
Nope.
There are a number of people, it's been reported many times in the news that there are a number of our colleagues, Republican colleagues, who do not like this man and they speak against him behind closed doors in private. Maybe you're one of them. There is a thing, profiles encourage. Why don't any of you, because you know better, what is wrong
They do know
with
better.
you? What is
They
wrong
choose
with
not to.
Sir, I want to be very clear with you. Give me a chance to answer his question, I'd be happy to.
What you got, Mike? Doesn't sound like they're happy with you, pal. Does not sound like they're happy with you.
Fascists don't hold town halls with open question and answer series.
That's your line? That's your line, bro? Come on, man.
And
Come on.
I will tell you this. I support law enforcement.
No, you don't.
And what happened on January 6, 2021
That's
was
a lie.
not right, and I'm on the record saying so.
If you did, you would have spoke out against the party.
But I support law enforcement. I have prided myself on supporting law enforcement since I began as a member of the Judiciary Committee in 2005, and we started working on
child assault. We started working on this offender registry. We started working on all of these different DWI laws to make our streets safer. I believe in law enforcement.
No, he
I
doesn't.
believe in the rule of law.
No, he doesn't.
I believe in the rule of law.
No, he doesn't.
It matters to me.
Nope.
I support Israel. I support Israel.
Next question. Next question. How do you intend to ensure the accuracy of reporting on job and economic statistics?
Good question. Good question. I'm gonna guess he says, yeah, he doesn't know anything about it.
I don't know what the situation was with the Department of Labor
Yep.
person. Neither do you. I don't know.
We do know because Trump can't shut up on Truth Social. He didn't like the numbers, so he found a scapegoat. It's that simple. And one of my favorite lines from the night is talking about SNAP benefits. Ask yourself, what would be a good answer when someone says, what are we going to do about cutting SNAP benefits? What would you say is a good answer? Because it wasn't this.
Why did you cut SNAP and healthcare research?
Wait for it. Wait for it. Take it away, Mike.
We do not have unlimited money in the United States.
Oh, there it is. We don't have enough money to make sure that kids have food. His name is Mike Flood. He represents CD1 in Nebraska. And if we can't put somebody in that seat that can do better than this guy, Nebraska is doomed. Nebraska is doomed. We might have a little blue dot, but we need a blue state. And if we can't get somebody in that seat to beat him just on facts and truth alone, then we're doomed. Go back and watch that town hall. August 4th, 2025, Mike Flood, Town Hall, Lincoln, Nebraska.
I want to ask, why does it seem like when you make your voting decisions, they're based on capital rather than the working class? Billionaires and corporations got their tax issues enshrined into law forever, but the working class gets a no tax on tips or overtime that only applies to some of us, and now we wind up in a situation where we are.
Funded by riches.
With all due respect, sir, the Republican Party, now more than ever, represents the heart and soul of the working class. These are the other important parts of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Next slide, please.
Tensions erupting at a lawmaker's town hall. With the House in summer recess, many members are back home meeting with constituents. And for Nebraska Republican Mike Flood, things got a little bit testy last night, early and often, as he defended President Trump's policies and was confronted on issues from the economy to Jeffrey Epstein. Listen.
Overnight, Congressman Mike Flood facing a barrage of pushback as he tries to sell his constituents on President Trump's agenda. The Nebraska Republican getting an earful for his support of Trump's massive tax and spending bill.
There's been a lot of misinformation out there about the bill.
Flood attempting to walk the audience through the health care provisions in the bill, but the crowd interrupting and jeering him.
I can tell you, we're going to see an influx of money into Nebraska hospitals.
The cornerstone of Trump's agenda is projected to cause more than 10 million Americans to lose their health care coverage over the next decade due to its cuts to Medicaid.
If you choose not to work, you do not get free health care. You do not get free health care.
A new analysis by the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office now estimates the legislation will add more than $4 trillion to the national debt over the next decade, up from the previous estimate of $3.4 trillion. The increase due in part to the roughly $4 trillion in tax cuts, mostly for the wealthiest Americans included in the final bill. But it wasn't just the legislation sparking outrage. One man pointing to the January 6th attack on the Capitol and Trump's pardons of more than 1,500 people involved. Now, the congressman was pressed on everything from the controversy over Jeffrey Epstein to the president's firing of the top official in charge of the jobs report and cuts to the education department. Now, after a contentious 90 minutes, that town hall ending with chants vote him out.
So my question is, did you read the bill?
I read the bill. I read the bills. Is every bill perfect? No, but I supported this bill. By the way, I think this is important. I cannot stress it enough because I think there's a lot of information out there that's wrong. We protected Medicaid. We cut $2 trillion out of the future debt. We worked to get results, and this bill builds for growth.
Why are you covering up the Epstein files?
At the next pro forma session of the Congress, you'll find my name as a sponsor on a resolution from the House Rules Committee to release the Epstein files, to protect the victims and not re-victimize them again. I support Jamie Comer, who is the House's Oversight Committee Chairman, subpoenaing Ms. Maxwell later this month to come testify in Washington. I am for the release of those records. To this bill because I know this is something a lot of people have questions about, and quite frankly, from where I sit, there's been a lot of misinformation out there about the bill. These are the other important parts of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Next slide, please. No taxes on overtime. Thank you very much, and have a safe drive home.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the entire town hall was for Representative Mike Flood, who represents Nebraska's 1st congressional district. He won like 60% of the vote in 2024, so this is not a liberal area, and he's still getting booed. I also just find his excuse here for voting to cut Medicare, Medicaid, food assistance, and more to be pretty pathetic. He says we don't have unlimited money in the United States. I wish he held that same energy when it came to giving tax cuts to billionaires or giving Elon Musk another government contract. But man, it's always a good day when a Republican rep gets booed at their own town hall.
Nebraska, who's the bad bitch that just called this fascism out for what it is? Who is this queen? We simply, the people, we need to know. Because, yes. And I just want to say, I know that so many different men, especially powerful men, they're about to minimize you and demonize you, and they're going to deflect and gaslight and say so many different things about how you were out of line or out of pocket, or that was not, you had no right to say that, and it's just ridiculous. There's so many different gaslighting techniques that we're about to witness here in this good old boy state. But we know the truth. You spoke the truth, and you did it beautifully, because you had such a beautiful segue where you called it alligator Alcatraz. So these motherfuckers could not be like, I don't know what she's talking about. You called it by what they call it, and then you smoothly referred to it as its given, factual, historically accurate name, which is a concentration camp. And for the record, MAGA, the reason some of us have gotten so angry, do you know how many men have on the internet told me they hope I get sent to a camp and get whipped? And there's nothing men won't do in this area to dehumanize, minimize, and shame women. There is no boundaries. In fact, the Nebraska GOP recently lost a defamation case against a female candidate. You're a brave bitch. Nebraska, keep this girl safe. You hear me? You keep her safe.
In Lincoln, Nebraska, Mike Flood faced a hostile crowd that erupted within just minutes of the start of the forum. Last night, these people were shouting and heckling the congressman as he was touting President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Flood kept trying to walk the audience through the healthcare provisions in the bill, but he was continuously drowned out by the crowd. And finally, according to NBC News, he was able to get a question through. Do you think people who are 28 years old that can work and refuse to work should get free healthcare? And he got a very unfriendly response, to which he replied to, I don't think that the majority of Nebraskans agree with you. Brother, there were 750 people in there. Audience members even chanted, tax the rich, to which Flood responded that it would cut job creation, that it would cut business creation, and it would cut the ability for employers to invest in their businesses. These Republicans don't care about their constituents, and this here is proof. As always, follow for more, share the news, Fuzz and Captain, out.
You know, it makes a lot of sense that he doesn't want people that are educated. He doesn't want people that are aware, because they can easily regurgitate what he tells them. And this crowd of over 700 people, they were the opposite of that. They were aware, educated, and ready to educate, ready to clap back. No amount of gaslighting would work on those people. And that's why, even when he tried, he failed terribly. Now I know why Trump wanted them uneducated. I know why he's against people being woke. Because woke equals holding him accountable. And that's one of the last things he would ever want anybody to do to him. This man has the nerves of saying he supports law enforcement, he's for law, and then what about the January mobs? Yes. What about his support for Israel? What about the things that he's supporting? He's literally trying to cover up for Trump, even if he's like, oh, you know, I am for the Epsteins. I want them to be released. I love the fact that this man stood in front of the people and he was telling them they protected Medicaid when they cut it. And people were like, you gave tax cuts to the rich so that we struggle. This is a stronghold. This is a mega stronghold. So it is so significant. Every bull in here is very significant. Because otherwise, if they are not careful enough, they will lose it. Now I know there's definitely a lot of those that are so sold out to him that they will vote for him again. But from what we looked at, it looks like it's totally different. And you know what made me so happy? Is the fact that these are not young people, the Gen Zs, the so-called millennials. These are Gen Xs. Some are boomers. And they're asking these questions. Man, of course, they are going to come out and accuse them of probably being paid, because that's what they do. But hey, at the end of the day, people had to say what they had to say. They know their state is going down. And these people, they're saying they read the big, beautiful bill, and still they wouldn't talk about the clauses that would affect the people. People know very well now. There's nothing beautiful about this bill. It's just to enrich you and your man. And that's what it is. And they're not going for it, which is amazing. So, Nebraska, the heat indeed looks like it reached you and it could not allow you to sit. You know when you have a boil in your pants? Under there, you can't sit. And looks like Nebraskans have that. It's like they're seated on a time B. And now they're willing to come out and speak. Doesn't matter it took them this long, but at least they are doing what they are supposed to be doing. And guess what? This is just the beginning. You're going to notice a lot of other representatives, people doing the same to them, because they know they are sellouts. None of them represents these people. All they care for is just their positions and just making sure that that check hits the bank. Yeah. Crazy how now people have to fight for themselves when you have representatives that have to be helping you to articulate some of the things that you need to. Yeah? But yeah, these people sleeping in mansions, and they say they care about the borders, or do they really care about the borders, but then they don't care about the victims? Yeah? It's so crazy how you care about the borders when your people, nursing homes are closing and they're sending their parents home, back home. They don't have a place to go anymore because the same Medicaid that he said they saved, yes, some nursing homes, they know they don't have a contract anymore with Medicaid, so they can't take care of them. It's going to become extremely expensive for you to pay for those services. And guess what? The average American does not have that. That's the reason as to why they're like, you know what? F this. These, all these people, like, it was so thrilling to see. Because they give attention to things that don't matter while they ignore the rot that is within. Instead of treating the wound from within, they are rushing to do the things that don't matter. So Nebraska, kudos. And I know that indeed more other states are going to follow, which is really going to be amazing. But man, that was so nice to see. If you're watching me from Nebraska, how are you all doing? That was good. That was very impressive. If this continues to go like this, I hope this man be kicked out and you have someone else in the midterms. If you have a chance to kick him out, please do. Also, you need to know that a lot of these representatives, their loyalties are not to the people anymore. They are to the fascist regime. And people called it out. Man, that was very impressive. They called out the fascism and they were telling him being complicit and not saying anything, not calling it out. He is allowing this to go on and he supports it. And guess what? Majority of them do. Because a lot of them are actually old people that have been in those positions for the longest. They're not even doing anything new except to pass unnecessary laws that don't even benefit anybody. But because they are stuck in the 70s, 40s, 20s, that's what they want to see. The world grows and shifts each and every other day. But a lot of these people don't want to shift. Cost of living is going high. They don't care. Because at the end of the day, the government takes care of them. And when they retire, yeah, they don't have to worry. Because they have enough to still take care of them. But what about the people that don't have that opportunity? So yes, indeed, Nebraska. That was amazing. Those of you that are watching from the United States of Embarrassment, what do you all think about this step from the efforts from Nebraskans and how they literally cooked and how they literally said, no way I ain't gonna sit and be quiet. And all the people that were speaking, honestly, they were on point. Put those thoughts in our comment section. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Send you greetings from the motherland, the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie. Bye.